Welcome to StringersWorld. We're looking at the Head Instinct frames today. It's the normal Instinct Mid Plus and the Head Instinct Rev Pro. Obviously the Mid Plus is a lot heavier than the Rev Pro, but we thought we'd do the two frames together because there are distinct similarities between them. The Instinct has a 16 by 19 string pattern. It's 300 grams and it has a beam of 23, 25 and 21 millimeters. The Rev Pro has a 100 square inch head size. It's only 255 grams and the beam is 27, 22 and a half and then 21 millimeters. Now that means they've both got very tapered beams and very differently tapered beams. I'm not going to go and get into exactly what those two differences make, but obviously the thicker the frame in certain areas, the stiffer the racket, so the more power comes from. For me, the Rev Pro is a little bit too light for my style of gameplay. I think Kobe would say the same, but it's definitely got a place in the market for juniors and people who want to develop their games.
Yeah, definitely. Beginner players looking to get a bit more power in their game, looking for, like, you know, your first real frame. I'd definitely suggest the Instinct's real user-friendly playable racket. Definitely.
I also think, like, the open string pattern, when people are first starting to play and they want to learn how to hit topspin, and you know they quite often get the wristy movements, the open string pattern lets you hit through the ball and you still really have that feeling of spin. And as I said, the throat's a lot stiffer than it is on the normal Instinct Mid Plus, and that again helps people kind of learn the game a little bit more and gives them that extra power from lower down in the racket to get the easy depth, which people are kind of looking for when they're playing. Yeah, like I say, it's not a frame I would use, but it's definitely got its place in the marketplace. Now the Instinct Mid Plus is a frame I would use.
Yeah, fantastic racket. First thoughts of this racket, never thought I'd like this. Personally, not a big fan of the paint job, but however, having picked this racket up, hit the ball just as well as I've hit with it all day, and probably for the last couple of weeks actually.
Kobe actually said to me off camera it's a racket he changed to, but the paint job does put him off, and I mean it's not something which is for everybody. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I will back him up that he definitely hit the ball as well with that as anything he's hit with for the last 6 months, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely a great racket to play with. Serving, fantastic. Ground strokes again for me, really lively coming into the court, find it really easy to penetrate. And returning the serve actually, definitely one of the stronger points.
Yeah, I think you returned well with it, and also just the shape of your ball using that frame. Kobe normally uses like pure drive, so you know, thick beamed in between like frame racket, and this frame launches the ball a little bit flatter, so where he normally gets quite a high loopy ball, I think this actually helped him out quite a bit. I mean, still huge amounts of spin on it, it just kind of came through the court a little bit quicker, and I also think your consistency was up a little bit with it.
Shame about that paint job.
Well, like I say, it's not for everyone. I like the frame. It's something I would consider to change to if I was in the market for a new frame. It's very manoeuvrable, very easy to play with, very forgiving still, but it has that little bit more control than the more traditional kind of game improvement frames. Recommend it for pretty much anybody at any level of the game if you're in the market for a 300 gram racket. I mean, the Head's always making a solid frame, and this one's no different.
Definitely my favourite Head racket which I've played with. Definitely gave me a lot of forgiveness even when I didn't hit the sweet spot. I
mean, to me it sits in Head's lineup right between the extreme and the radical. It's got a little bit more pop than the radicals, less pop than the extremes, a little bit more control than the extremes. It just fills that gap perfectly. They've kind of made a hybrid between the two. As far as the paint job goes, you can love it or hate it. Check it out at StringersWorld.com. It's a great racket for all sorts of players.